Actually, thankfully, many of these actually look the same, so that's really good. So I'm going to do fudge because fudge literally, they all are literally the same type of question. But I'm just doing fudge so that at least you have a reference point. We are literally calculating ratios. So what do we have here? We have turnover, which is the same thing as sales. Then we have cost of sales. And then we have gross profit, then we have selling and distribution, admin, advertising, and then we have net profit, and we have some more information about units. And the question is literally asking you, again, to just bang in some ratios. I'm just going to work with fudge and reference stubbed. So selling price per unit. So, I mean, I have the total turnover, and I have the total number of units that we sold. So that is literally the 3.2, oops, sorry, 3.2 divided by 6.4. This feels like a half. This feels like 0.5. Let's just look here and look at fudge. And there you have it, 0.5. So just apply the same, literally the same principle to turnover here and then here, and you're there. Then the question is asking you for the individual sort of, it says material cost per unit, labor cost per unit, fixed cost per unit. And I'm literally lifting these and literally saying 0.5 divided by 6.4, 0.7 divided by 6.4, and 0.3 divided by 6.4. That is what I'm literally doing. So we can test it. So to do the first one, 0.5 divided by 6.4, and we have 0.078. You can see here 0.078, and just apply the same thing to labor and fixed production. That's what they wanted, and that gave us a kind of then they wanted us to find the gross profit margin, and then the gross profit margin, of course, is the where are we? Here we are. Here's your gross profit, 1.7 as a percentage of turnover, right? 1.7 divided by 3.2. So you have 1.7 divided by 3.2. And you have 0.53, 53.1. 53.1, you can see it over here, 53.1. And then your net profit margin, of course, will be your 0.5 divided by 3.2, 0.5 divided by 3.2. And you have exactly the same process, 0.5 divided by 3.2, and so you have 15.6%. And then they want a bit more sort of discussion on advertising. So typically, if your revenue goes up, advertising would go up. We expect it to go up. It's okay if it does. It's not a problem. Or the only problem we have is that we want advertising as a percentage of revenue to fall. We want advertising as a percentage of revenue to fall. So that's why we calculate that between years. If you're comparing years or comparing typically years, 0.6 divided by 3.2 will give you your answer there. 0.6 divided by 3.2, 0.6 divided by 3.2 gives you 18.75, 18.75, and you have 18.75 here, right? And then finally, return on net assets. How well are those assets being used to generate profit? You have 0.5 over the net assets of 10, 0.5 over 10, if you like. Yes, it's quite a 0.5 divided by 10 is equal to 0.05. So you have 5%, 5%. And that, if you like, is, that is your with these ratios. And they literally repeat themselves right through the others. There is no difference. The same thing throughout. You've got revenue, cost of sales, and you have your other costs, and you have net profit, number of units, direct labor worked. You can sort of exactly the same process. Literally no difference throughout. Cool, great stuff. So that concludes your discussion. That concludes our discussion on what's the technical term they're using it for it. This concludes our discussion on performance indicators calculation. Okay.